That was fun.
What episode? You're supposed to say the episode.
Episode 4, season 2.
Of?
Gregor's Cross.
Have you never seen a marker? Okay.
No.
Amateur.
What is this? Amateur hour? Oh, wow. Of course it's on the
Hey,
cord.
what happened
Isn't
to
that so
adjusting our mics before we started
that's
recording?
Way loud on you. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, we're not done yet. But isn't it something that there's a 100% chance I'm going to set that on? Okay. Fuck off.
This is always such a fun experience.
Than sitting on the cord. Normally, like when I'm working in my shop, or even doing chords here, what happens is something's stopping me, and I look down and I'm standing on the cord. Every time, power cord, mic
But you know
cord,
what's really stopping
just
you?
like, and it's me.
Mental. What did they ask on the plane thing? What was it? Are you deaf, blind, or
Intellectually challenged. Okay. Welcome back to our channel. This is episode 4, season 2, Gregor's Crossing. This is my beautiful and talented daughter, Maddie. I'm Jim, and if you're new to the show, go back to episode 1 and catch up. If you're back, joining us again, thanks, man. We really appreciate you. And I say this every time, gosh, kind of a lot's happened, but boy, we're pivoting, we're shaking and moving and shaking. We're taking things as they come, and we're just making it happen, man.
Been taking a lot of hits.
We're taking a lot of hits, man. I took a couple of. I think I mentioned this last week. I did. I took a couple of body blows that really made me question what the. Anyway, season 2, episode 4.
Have you seen Have you seen Bo Burnham's special that he did during COVID?
Yes.
He goes, "How are you doing?" He goes, "I am not doing good." That's how I feel.
I don't know why you brought that up, but that is some good. He is so good.
He is so talented, but I'm saying that because that's how the past 2 weeks has been. How are you doing? I am not doing good.
It's been tough, and I will explain why for both of us, but for different reasons. And it's just, I don't know, man. I want to talk about it. That's what this is for. This is going to be the cathartic show. If I was still naming each episode like I attempted to do,
This would be called the bitching episode.
well, it'd be called the catharsis episode. So, and I wrote here the journey from season 1, and I wish that you would have rewatched episode 1 with me, because I wanted to go back a year. This whole thing was predicated on a year. Where would I be in a year? Would I be a working actor? Would I be a paid model? That's kind of where I headed at the beginning of this, where I submitted myself to modeling agencies. But the whole thing was in a year. Where would I be? Well, we're there. It's been a year since I started this, and man, it's been like a pinball machine game. It's not what I've expected. Where I'm at a year later, and the things that have happened during that year and the months that I took off to get other things going that I thought would finance,
A year older and not a penny richer.
not a penny richer.
It's funny now. It wasn't funny a week ago.
Maybe it's ironic that it's the holiday season and we've watched every version of Scrooge, and now it's like...
And the Grinch.
And the Grinch. So, but this started out, if you remember, I was going to take that camera and I was going to
throw it out that window.
No. Remember at the beginning, I was going to take that camera and I was going to go, it was going to go with me through airports and to auditions and to modeling shoots and it was going to be the whole interactive, me going on this journey.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was seeing this as a literal journey. Like the phone's going to, maybe not ring off, but something will happen and I'll have to go somewhere and talk to someone and I'm going to take a camera with me. That was the idea.
Yeah.
I went nowhere.
Well, you have okay. I don't think that's really fair on your part, because you have a tendency as well to be on and then.
Well, listen. So that's what we're here to talk about tonight is what happened. What happened to that? What happened to just the acting? And I've tried to stay true, except for the few months that I took off to try to get K2 Studios going and the Sim Lounge. And the reason why I diverted there is because I thought if I hit that while it's hot and we hit most of the summer and then we start getting the holidays and stuff, and that picked up, that would bridge the gap. That would help me out to try to give Mama some cash and help pay some of the bills while I'm trying, because I know this acting thing's going to take a while. It's so I did divert. So I can't sit here and tell you that I've been working on this acting career for a year. I haven't. I took 5 months out to try to get the studio and everything else going, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just wanted to go back to say that the year that I was talking about in episode 1 has happened. Here we are. And my question at that time in episode 1 was, will I be a working actor at the end of a year? The answer is no. I'm not as of yet a working actor. But okay, so have I
Yes,
hammered that
we get it.
point home? So
Say it again. Say what again? I would just like to point out that this is
rent. Oh, and then
this is so.
So I've covered this card. That card's done. Okay. Next.
We kept reading the same card. The teleprompter is broken.
No, I numbered them. See, this is number 2. So we find ourselves here at this crossroads at the end of the year. And I'm not talking about the acting thing. I want to divert back to the studio and these other adventures for a second. We get here to the end of this calendar year, and now we have some decisions to make. So I don't know if you're aware of this. I think I told you that the Idaho Falls Chuckers, which is our local baseball team, semi-professional baseball team, the Idaho Falls Chuckers, go Chuckers. We were about to. They sent me 4 or 5 proposals, and I've had a couple meetings with them. And your mother and I were really gung ho about getting some local advertising going, and it was just south of $1,000 would get us a concourse banner. We'd get our QR code in the luxury suites and on their cup holders, on all the seats cup holders in the luxury suites would be our little logo and QR code. And they had they pitched us 4 proposals, and we actually were thinking about a little bit from this proposal, a little bit from that proposal, but it was about $1,000. So there's that. And then there's the getting into joining Backstage, which I did a year ago, and it's about to renew December 11th for another $200. And I joined Casting Network, which is $30 a month. And I really had to start reevaluating these costs for the acting. Now, Backstage, and I think I've discussed this a little bit, where I kind of had to reevaluate that because I'm not there, and the way I had to fill it out, they think I'm in LA. I'm not going to belabor that point again, but I had to turn down anything that came my way. And that's what made me lean, even though I was categorized as more interested in voice acting, and those are all the auditions that I put in were only for voice acting. I don't think they really read that. I think they just see you. They might see your picture, and a lot of conditions where they sent me auditions, you could tell they saw my face and went, "Well, he'll make a good." Like one of them was a vampire dad, you know what I mean? But and another one was a slick game show host kind of a dude. So I think they just real quick, but they don't really look into your profile or your bio. They just pick a bunch. Anyway, so I thought, well, I don't think I should continue on with Backstage if I can't really react or respond to those. And if I'm going to do voice acting from here because I'm going to take advantage of the studio and stuff, then I should get on platforms that do that for me. So one of the big changes that we're going through right now, we're coming to the end of the year. This is the week between Thanksgiving, or the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And at the end of the year, I think I want to completely pigeonhole myself and concentrate my efforts on voice acting. And I can hear that too. and I want to concentrate so it's between voices and voices 1, 2, 3, which is I'm going to we're going to talk about that comparison here in a little bit, but to concentrate on that, to concentrate on voice acting, and know that the people that I'm submitting myself to know that's what I'm just submitting to voice acting, and I don't have to keep turning stuff down. So when you start talking about voices.com, that's $499. We're going to go ahead and just call that $500 for an annual membership, and then they want 20% of each job. Okay? But the feedback and the research that I'm getting on that is you'll get work. So I'm not the reason why I'm not worried about the $500 is because a really low paying job will pay you'll pay that you'll make that on the first job or two. So I don't care about that. That's an upfront cost that goes away after your first gig or two. The 20% I like because they are your liaison between you and the client. They handle everything. They handle the contracts. They get paid. Your money's waiting for you in an escrow account, I guess you'd call it, so that once you do your bit and you've satisfied all the audio file requirements and all the requirements that the client needs, you get paid. And then they handle everything. And I really like that. I so think that's worth 20% of a job. But it concentrates my efforts on that, and I'm not wasting my time. And I'm not saying backstage is a waste of time. I'm saying it was a waste of my efforts because I couldn't react to stuff. I can't stress this enough. I think it's a legitimate platform for actors. And if you're in the city that your profile says you're in, you'll get work. I got jobs offered. I got auditions offered to me, but I also got jobs offered to me. Come here and film this for 3 days. It wasn't come here and audition. They saw my profile and were willing to pay me to do whatever it was. So I want to concentrate my efforts and focalize. That's step class downstairs, isn't it?
It's okay.
So we're going to keep going. We're going to push through. Guys, I do whatever I can.
There's a step class downstairs?
There's a step class downstairs. It's been down there for 30 years. And
more than that.
I think in season 1 you might have heard this rant about she's down there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then there's a class in the middle of the day, and then apparently there's one in the evenings, which I completely forgot about. But the thing is, whether she has one person there or 30, she's mic'd up to the PA system, man, and she's got that thing cranked up in the entire wing. This entire wing of the building, first floor, second floor, third floor, has to endure the step class. So
But we can't have the treadmill up here.
Yeah, or the drums. Even an electronic. We got, because of the thumping of the bass pedal down there, and
they don't like that.
No, but we have to. So I thought we avoided this, but we got to push through because we've just got to get this in. We got to get this episode done tonight. So please enjoy the background music of the step class downstairs. Go girls, you go girls. Push it, bring it, push it. Okay, so where were we? Focalizing.
Yes, Oh yeah.
Focalizing our efforts on voice acting and really taking that, picking one thing.
Yeah.
I spent the last year picking 47 things.
You put too much on your plate.
And doing them all half-assed.
Yeah.
And now I have nothing to report of substance. And so we have to readjust and revamp where we're headed. And that's what we're doing. So, and this is just a side note. This doesn't mean has nothing to do with really the meaning of the podcast or the point that we're here. But we're not going to rent the place out anymore. I'm not going to do K2 Studios in terms of an event center. Mm-hmm. I'm going to send my full motion race training simulator back to its manufacturer.
It's okay.
I have to give it back.
At least you're not the one that put it together. If you were the one that put it together, then
they're really cool though. They're going to send a crew here and come get it.
They're really cool guys.
They are. Sim coaches out of Las Vegas, man. They are doing us a solid. They've done me a solid twice. They sold me the thing, and it was really fun. And I would like to say, before I give it back, and there's been quite a few people on the thing, I am giving this thing back, and I hold the fastest lap, and no one could ever beat my fast lap. And now that's going to go into the annals of history It's there forever. You can etch that on my tombstone.
I think that you
Fast lap.
And I think this isn't necessarily a you thing, because I was gonna say you and I, but I think other people might relate to this, where you put so much on your plate and you become so overwhelmed and everything seems so unattainable that you no longer feel motivated, and you no longer feel like you can do all the things, because it looks like you're looking straight up a mountain that you cannot climb.
Well, I can tell you right now, I looked voice acting as just something anyone can do and anyone can get into, and boy, that is not the case. And I have to apologize to voice acting and voice actors and anyone that takes that seriously and does it for a living. It's not, and we're going to get into that on my fourth card about.
This is going to be a 2-hour-long episode.
I want to wait for that. So what I'm saying is, I canceled Backstage, I canceled Casting Network, and I'm going to move forward at the beginning of the year with Voices. Voices.com, and I'm gonna build up at least 30 samples of different things, and then I'm gonna concentrate, because with Backstage I never got past 7 out of 10 on my profile strength. I half-assed it. Same with my Casting Network. You get to a certain point. I took like the first day and downloaded some pictures and typed some stuff, and then I never went. And then you just. So no, I'm tired. I'm spread too thin. I'm not going to half-ass 5 things. I'm going to do one thing really well, and I'm going to concentrate my efforts on voice acting, because that's not an easy thing to do. Not everyone can do it. Just because you have a voice and a microphone and headphones doesn't mean you can do that. But there's different levels of doing that, and there's different ways of what is it you really want from that, and that's what we're going to get into on card 4. Becoming or learning. Okay, so here's what I'm learning. Okay. Push it. You know what? We're sitting here rocking out to the step class, but we shouldn't, because I can edit all that out and they don't hear this. You guys,
I think it's funny. I think it adds character to the episode.
You guys, I promise you, but by the time I'm done, because that's how good I am at post editing, you won't hear any of the step class. But right now, it is loud. We've got headphones on and it's loud. It's probably getting picked up on our microphones, and then we can hear it through the headphones. Anyway, so it's interesting to me that...
It's interesting to you.
It's interesting to me that... and I want to talk about this because I want to be an actor, but I can't get to LA. So I'm thinking my backup plan is voice acting. Like, well, anybody can go do that, which obviously is not the case. But... So you join a place like you join a platform like Voices.com. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 ways of looking at this. You're an actor. You're an actor trying to do what I'm doing, but you want to become a good voice actor, but you would really like to go beyond that. Now, not only would you like to certainly do Pixar and Disney, I mean, that's the pinnacle of voice acting, but ostensibly you got into this because you're using voice acting to then become an actual physical in the real world actor. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a stepping stone, but really a huge home run once you got into voice acting would be if you ever got to the point where you could do Pixar or Disney voiceovers. You are a success. You know what I mean? You either. So I want to go back though. So there's people, like if you go to Voices.com leaderboard, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. You can pick. You can see all the top performing artists on Voices.com. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to use that as a resource, by the way, when we're building our own profiles. Let's go look and see how they built their profiles. And
I watched the video you watched.
Okay. So my point about this is, see, you threw me off. Shut up.
Sorry. So the leaderboard.
So you go to the leaderboard and you...
look at it.
You do. You look at it
and read it,
and then you
you pet it,
and then. But here's the thing:
study the leaderboard.
But listen, if you watch this leaderboard, if you go look at these people, now there's a question to be asked: are these people that we're looking at this like, well, I'm just going to become a voice actor because I want to become an actual. See, and I keep making you are actual actors, but you have other aspirations.
You're offending the masses.
I'm talking about from my personal point of view, which was wrong and flawed. Let me just tell this story where I wanted to use this as a simple and easy, a gradual way to work up to real acting when this absolutely is real acting. But the point I'm trying to make here is the people that are really good and that are on the leaderboard of voices.com, is it because they're very good actors and they're on their way to becoming better actors? Or are these people that have just learned how to use this platform and to get their auditions out? They don't have any other aspirations other than, I know how to use, I'm very good at using this platform. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm starting to learn that you have to get your auditions in early. In your profile, you have to say, I can get something turned around in 1 to 4 hours. You got to turn it right back around. And what I'm learning from talking to Carly, whose stepdad did voices in Voices 1, 2, 3 early in his radio career, he'll tell you the only way to really make those profitable is to make yourself a cup of coffee in the morning and go turn your computer on, and you have to be the first. Once you get a notification that there's an audition that fits your voice profile and your this and your that, you have to audition, get it awarded, and turn it. You got to be just sitting there almost real time, staring into your computer and reacting. And you've got to be on top of it. You've got to babysit it, he called it. You really have to babysit voices to get work. But if you do that, if you can sit there, if you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a retired guy, and you can sit, and every time you get a notification on your phone, you can walk to a computer, and if that's something you want to do, in 90 minutes, they've got an audition from you, you're going to get work. So, are the people on the leaderboard of voices.com people that have just learned how to do that really well? They've learned how to use voices in that platform to the nth degree, and they make a lot of money because they've learned the ins and outs of using the platform. They're not the greatest actors. They're not the greatest voice actors in the world, and they're not going to ultimately be the greatest other actors in the world, the stage actors, the film actors. They kick ass at using voices.com platform. They know how the algorithms work. They know how soon you have to get auditions in. They know how many you have to put in. They know how you have to. That's it. That's the world that we're entering into. And it's a fine line, if you ask me, between I want to nurture and bolster my acting chops. I want to get better at telling stories with my voice. I want to bring words to life. I want to ultimately play a part in a play and act with other actors on stage again. And I want to be in a film, and I want to collaborate in other artistic ways. Or do I just become an algorithm expert and learn how voices.com works and read words into a microphone, but if I time it just right, I can make a shit ton of money doing that. And then, am I acting? Is that pursuing my dream?
But we've talked about this. You use voices as like a baseline thing. Once you make some money, You don't need to do that. We're on the same episode.
No, but I have to reline up the audio file with the video file every time. Stupid bastard.
Stupid bastard.
Dumb
Bastard.
bitch. All right. It's a cremoted dragon.
You dumb bitch. It's a
Okay, so
cremoted
what we were talking about, Maddie, was because you got a deal on your Backstage membership for a year, you went ahead and joined Backstage, and I think that's wonderful. And I think we should, at first, bolster up your profile. Don't do what I did. Let's just hit that thing hard. We'll answer. We'll nail that profile for you. But at the beginning of the year, I believe it's your. We've talked about maybe you and I doing voices and heading down that road and trying to work on voice samples. We've listened to some voice acting mentors that tell us you don't want to get 5 samples, you want to get 30 samples. So matter of fact, this evening after we're done recording this, we're going to start working on samples. I've got to start working on a bunch. You've got to start working on a bunch. We need to just bolster that up for the voices, and it would help with your Backstage profile as well. But you've joined Backstage. Tell us a little bit about you're still on the track of heading to LA and selling everything and moving off to LA in a year, or did I talk you into maybe let's see if we can make some coin doing this voice acting thing and get a little bit established that way? Like maybe the first goal for you would be make enough money voice acting that you could trash the bank job.
Well, I don't know. I think everything's kind of still up in the air. And
No, when I mean bank job, I mean we're not planning a bank heist. I just mean Maddie is an employee. She's an employee at a bank during the day. Sorry, you don't have access to blueprints or anything. Anyway, go ahead.
Blueprints?
Nothing. Go ahead. Bank job, blueprints. Do you watch movies?
I really don't think I can disclose any of that information to you.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
I think it's all really up in the air. Again, like I wasn't planning on moving till like beginning of the summer, so I think we'll see how it goes. I want to do voices. I want to see if I make any money on there, how much money I make. It kind of all depends.
Okay. But we're still going to, you're going to put yourself out there on Backstage, and, it might be more feasible to get you to an audition or 2 or 3 opportunities maybe that I couldn't take off and do, but you could be able to do that. Mm-hmm. So, where are we?
Yeah, that was the other thing is I wanted to do voices and Backstage because voices seems like something I could put my energy into and then fund being able to get myself back and forth to LA to see if I could get jobs before moving there to kind of.
Or, and you and I talked about this. Is it really that important that you physically be in LA? The way this brave new world that we live in, like, couldn't you base yourself out of wherever? It doesn't really matter where you are.
I thought that, but everything I read online says, like, you kind of just got to go there.
Well, and I'll tell you, and we just talked about this from my Backstage experience. I would have needed to be there like 9 a.m. the next morning. So, for stuff like that to get started, you do have to be there. And it's just like this thing with voices. If you got to be there to hit the iron
it's just different and more opportunities, I feel like. But because I went back and forth for a long 4 years, back and forth going, yes, I need to. No, I don't. Yes, I need to. And then when I finally decided a couple months ago, it was after Googling everything and basically everything on Reddit or any other platform where anyone else is talking about it, Quora, everyone's like, yeah, it's kind of like a thing you got to do. You got to be there. So, I don't know.
Okay. How about acting classes? I still think you should try to take as many acting classes as you can online. There's acting classes that are offered by accredited, amazing people that.
Are you okay?
No, I've been.
Do you smell burnt toast? Are you having a stroke right now? Are you stroking out on the podcast?
I'm just saying that there's a lot of good opportunities out there online to get some very, very good acting advice, classes, training.
And I've been looking for some. I've been going through the YouTube rabbit hole of that and watching and listening, and I tried reading your Meisner book. Bro, I'm going to have to download the audiobook for that one.
Maybe it's something that has to be said to you.
That really, like, turns my brain into mush.
Yeah, which isn't probably...
It's like math, kind of. Like, the second I think that I get it, then he says something else, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Yeah. No, I know you, and I can see where that would be hard for you.
Shut up.
So
I'm too stupid, basically, to read about method acting or the Meisner effect or anything like that.
Maybe that doesn't come off the page very well. It's something.
It does not.
It's something that you have to be taught. Have someone teach you. They have to say it to you.
And so, really, like the beginning of this
book, hopefully the voice actor for the audiobook for the Meisner technique is a kick-ass actor. Think about that one for a minute. Now, hey, Think about that one for a minute.
Listen to me. Shut
the
up for
voice actor that
one
gets
second
the
of your
gig
life. Just shut
of
up.
reading the Meisner technique of acting has got to be a pretty fucking good actor. Yeah?
I feel.
I would let, I don't know, Morgan Freeman read that to me. Beyond that, no. Who you?
At the beginning of the book, which I really don't think you've read. I think you're lying to me about reading it.
That'd be wrong. I've read the book.
And that would be incorrect.
I've read the book.
But the beginning of the book
but it wasn't
is
yesterday. It was not yesterday.
The
And I think
begin-
we've established that I have a bit of some waning gray matter issues with my memory.
Oh, we already
and-
knew that a
long
while
and
for a long
short-term
time. We've known that.
memory.
But at the as I've been trying to say for the last 10 minutes, the beginning of this book kind of goes from the eyes of him teaching one of his classes and him in front of the class teaching and his students' responses.
Basically something along
And even at like from what I read, like the students seem confused. I'm not saying it's not like ingenious what he's trying to get across, but the way that it's written, you're like, what?
Well, maybe okay. Well, try the audiobook and see if having it because I would actually think that would.
But
be
I want to read about dragons.
dragons.
I do.
Dragons.
It's like, do I want to read this book or do I want to read my dragon book? I want to read about dragons.
I think that takes care of card number 3, entitled Maddie. Card number 4. Now we're going to wrap up.
It's called Maddie 2.0.
It's called Carly.
Oh,
Carly
is not here
is my daughter.
because she's not a real one,
She's not a real what?
homie. She's not here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's not a real daughter. I was there. She's a real daughter.
Why would I say that?
That was a real long, weird hesitation at a weird spot. Anyway, this is
You're
entitled.
not allowed to drink while we do this anymore.
So Carly has expressed an interest in getting into voiceover, and this kind of bleeds into what we were talking about earlier, where if she's not coming from necessarily an acting background, which I kind of think maybe she might. I think she has it in her blood. She is a Krager ipso facto de ficto. She's got Krager blood in her, so I think she's got acting blood in her. But she's looking at it more along the lines of, and she said as much. I want to see if I can make a little extra cash, just on the side, a side gig. So there's someone, and this goes back to what we were talking about on card 2 or 3. Somebody that is more wanting to figure out how the platform works and how the algorithms work and how to just make a side income, and has no real aspirations of becoming an actor. They just want to use that to make some coin, and it would and you can certainly do that. If you have a voice and can read, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I was going. It comes kind of full circle and I would love to have her in on this, and I've asked her to be a part of the show next week. She's going to call in, and we're going to be able to have a talk with her.
We're gonna have a caller.
We're going to have a caller, and this interface allows us to do that. She can call in right now while we're talking, and we can have a live interview with her and bring her in on the stuff she's been doing to get her voice's profile up and running. But you also know she's got an invaluable resource in a stepfather. Scott, her stepfather, who used to be a big DJ here in this town before they moved to Seattle, and now he's
in this realm.
But now, I mean, like, he's like all these other people that we listen to on YouTube, where they say they're successful in the business now, and they used voices 1, 2, 3 at the beginning, but they don't use it anymore. It was a launch pad to a much bigger and more prolific career, which certainly he has. And she's got, she can tap him for all sorts of valuable advice,
Yeah, Carly, just bleed him dry.
and then share that with us. That with us. Bleed him dry, squeeze him like a sponge, and then give us all that juice.
Like a rag.
Anyway, I think that's wonderful. And so now Krager's Crossing Because as I said, she's by blood a Krager. Now Krager's Crossing can be this family affair of me and my daughters trying to break into voice acting. Wouldn't it be cool if we could? I bet we could do like a sitcom, like a Miley Cyrus kind of a thing.
What's
where
a quartet but for 3 people?
tripet? Well,
Wow.
I have no idea. A triple, a
Threat?
a triple threat. I was gonna say trifecta, but that's yeah. All right, so
We should go
so
on the
anyway,
road.
I think that's really cool that Carly wants to get into this, and I'm gonna help her. We're sending her a care package, by the way. We're gonna send her a microphone and some we're gonna send her some stuff to get her kind of headed in the right direction, and then I want to hear her progress, like on next week's show. I want to hear your progress. I want to hear my progress. I want to hear all the Krager's Crossing progress. What do you think?
I think that sounds good.
Cool, very cool. Do you have anything else? I see you have a piece of paper over there. What does your paper say?
Well, this is just my
I
little.
guilted her into taking notes.
So this was just my little.
Wish list. Is that your letter to Santa? Let me see it.
I wanted to write down some of what I was thinking of for snippets to do for voices, like bits.
Voice samples. They're called
Or
voice samples.
yeah. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 so
Okay.
far.
What are they?
The first one is more of a bit, not really a character yet. I'm thinking New York, but our English majors joke. I want to do that one.
What? Remind me of the English majors.
So I feel I would be like, everyone in this town, these college guys, they all say they're English majors. Like that's something impressive. Everyone's a fucking English major. The guy that changes the oil in my car is an English major. What do you mean when you tell me that? So you didn't know what you wanted to do, so you became an English major. That's half the fucking population. That one. The second one is the shrimp from Shark Tale,
Yeah.
which I'm oddly really good at doing.
Give me a snippet.
So what does he say? He goes, well, the baby lost its legs, and then and he's growing, and he's fairly happy, and
Okay, what else is on your list?
pneumococcal pneumonia.
Give me that. Give me some of that.
Do you suffer from pneumococcal pneumonia? Well, I don't know. I thought we could write
gonna-
something about that.
Okay, cool. Pneumococcal pneumonia. That's good.
Lilo and Stitch,
Mm-hmm.
where she goes, I can't feed Pudge tuna. Do you know what tuna is? It's fish. If I fed Pudge tuna, I would be an abomination. So I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And then, the fish in the one tank in the dentist office in Finding Nemo, where she goes, "Hi, I'm Flo. This is my sister," and it's nothing. Like it's just invisible. She's
Yeah.
like, she's really shy. She's crazy. She doesn't like to come out here every once in a while. Whatever. That one. So those are the 5 that I've come up with so far. 5 out of 30.
Excellent. Well, I took about way more time than I should have today to find some Italian restaurant music
Yeah.
that would work really good under your Shark Tales shrimp thing. So I think right now, once we're done here, we should.
And I'm working a second shift at the factory to put food on the table. True story.
And then he goes like this.
You're a good person.
Okay, so we've got a lot to do. We're gonna work on that for a week, and we're gonna have a lot to report. And Carly's gonna report in on what she's doing to get her profile going, and we're all just gonna head down this voice acting rabbit hole, if I can borrow a term from you earlier. I think we should all head down this rabbit hole, and in a year see where that takes us. So we're gonna hit the reset button from episode 1, season 1, and it's a year, and we're gonna see where we're at in the next calendar year. Okay? So, can you still hear the step class? Boy, they must be doing a double class tonight. I hope you guys can hear that. Maybe I'll leave, if I can I'm going to leave some in because that's motivational. Okay, so, and I want to do this one last time because this is just too fun. We got to write on here though. I'm assuming there's stuff you have to write on here. That's about as cool as the on-air light that I got for the door, which I don't use anymore. So, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for this. And
Okay, can I get my money now?
money,
Yeah.
YouTube will never monetize this. You know why? Because we only do one episode a week. We need to put content out every day.
Okay, well, one of us is employed.
That hurt.